Aloha and welcome. In this video, we're going to be going over authentication protocols. We're going to start off with two simple ones, PAP and CHAP. So let's go ahead and open up our textbooks. So we've got PAP and CHAP. We're going to start with Password Authentication Protocol, or PAP. And this one is an authentication protocol used for authenticating a client to a server over a point-to-point connection. So you're going from one point to the other. So you're going client to the server. And it's only going to be done once per session, and it's going to be done at the time of the initial connection establishment. So when you're establishing the connection with that server, that's when you're going to do this PAP authentication. So PAP uses a two-way handshake protocol. So client is going to send the client's username and password to the server. The server is going to send an authentication acknowledgement to the client if that actually checks out. If the username and password are, if they check out on the server and they match, then you're going to get an acknowledgement, an ACK, we call it ACK. If it's not correct, then it's going to send a NAK, NAK, a negative acknowledgement. The thing about this that you need to remember, the most important thing is PAP does not encrypt usernames and passwords. So it's not considered a secure authentication protocol. What you need to know is when it's starting this out, the client is sending it in clear text. It's not encrypted in any way, so whoever is sniffing on the line can see that. So that's why you don't use PAP. So we're going to take a look at the authentication, the participation activity for it. So it starts out, you've got the username and password sent to the server. The server's going to look at it. If it works, it's going to send it back an acknowledgement. If it's not, it's going to send back a NAK. When it sends the username and password, if it's incorrect, it sends back a negative acknowledgement, a NAK. And that's the end of that. So I'll let you go through this little activity here, matching them up. The next one that we're going to look at is CHAP. And CHAP is the Challenge Handshake Authentication Protocol. This one's more secure. So this is an authentication protocol that uses a shared secret to authenticate a client to a server over a point-to-point connection. Just like before, when you're going from one point to another, you're going to be using CHAP, and CHAP is going to have a shared secret between the two. So unlike PAP, CHAP is also going to allow for an occasional re-authentication of the client during that communication session. So it's not just one shot like PAP where you do it in the beginning and then it's over. CHAP will occasionally re-ask to set up the to make sure that everything is right and they've got the username and password. So CHAP is going to use a three-way handshake protocol. So it's going to start out with the server sending a randomly generated challenge string to the client. So it sends a string over to the client, but the client combines this string that it gets with a secret that it shares with the server. So both the server and the client have a shared secret between the two. So what's going to happen is when the client gets this little randomly generated bit of challenge string from the server, it's going to take the shared secret that it has, it's going to use a hash. So, a hash is just some kind of function that's going to do something to those two bits of information put together, and it comes up with what we call a hash. It comes out with this number. And that number, it's going to send back to the server, and the server is going to look at it, and it's going to run its own calculation. If those two numbers are the same, then it's okay. So getting back to the explanation here, the client's going to compute the hash value of the combined string, and it's going to send that hash value to the server. Like I mentioned, the server is going to compare the hash value that it received to its own calculated hash value from the challenge string, the shared secret. So if they're equal, the client's authenticated to the server. If the hash values are not equal, the client's authentication attempt fails. So we're going to look at this here again in a very simple illustration. So the server is going to send that challenge string over to the client. Then the client's going to respond with the hash value. And then if it's correct, it's going to accept it. But if it's not correct, then when it's given the challenge and the incorrect response, it's going to reject it. So that's what CHAP looks like. So go down in here and answer these questions. This is a nice little set of questions because it's going to go through your knowledge of PAP versus CHAP based on what we just did. So this is a really good one for you. So go ahead and answer these. If you have any questions, if something didn't make sense in this, just reach out to me, send me an email. I'd be happy to help you. So have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video. Aloha.